Welcome to the Shop Jersey Shore podcast. I'm Lisa Mazuka, your host, and today I'm here with my guest, Jim Marchioni from CamoVets Junk Removal, Roof Cleaning, and Power Washing in Barnegat, New Jersey. This podcast is brought to you by On Your Mark Designs. We are a digital marketing agency in Bayville, New Jersey, and we're here to help you find the best businesses and services to help you shop Jersey Shore. Please stay tuned for the giveaway at the end of the show. We'll have you answer a question about something we talk about today, and the winner will get a Spire Coffee House gift card before the next episode. Wherever you're watching or listening, please subscribe and follow this show. We air a new episode every week. We did take a little break. Our last episode was in November. So now this is season 2 of the Shop Jersey Shore podcast. Thank you for joining me. Jim, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I am so glad you're here. Jim and I have recently started working together, and we recently relaunched his website for CamoVets. So tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. Yeah, like Lisa said, my name is Jim Marchioni. We're based out of Barnegat, New Jersey. Actually, our yard's in Manahawkin on Route 9 in Manahawkin. But yeah, I started CamoVets. I'm a vet. I served in the Marine Corps when I was younger, from 83 to 86, Marine Corps infantry. So I launched CamoVets about 11 years ago now. I used to be in the oil field in Texas. I used to travel back and forth, and they had a dip in the prices. So the company I worked for actually went bankrupt. So I was 50 years old, without a job. And me and my wife talked and decided to launch a service business. I was in a service-based business with my friend when I was younger, in my early 20s. And it always kind of stuck with me. So I decided to launch a new one, and we did like window cleaning, gutter cleaning, that type of thing. And then I fell into soft washing, power washing. When I first started, I did want to get into junk removal. In New Jersey, you need a special license to do junk removal. It's called an A901. So not anyone with a truck could do it. It takes 2 to 3 years to get it. It took me a little over 2 years. So I couldn't just sit around. That's why, we started doing, the power washing and soft washing. So we've been doing that for 11 years. The junk removal side, we're going on about 4 years now doing that. So, like I said, I'm a vet. At the time, veterans were having a hard time getting work. I don't know if you remember, about 11 years ago, guys would get out of the service and they couldn't, having a hard time. People didn't want to hire them because a lot of them suffered PTSD and these type of things. And I was in the oil field. The name of the company was Liberty Crude.
Okay.
And we had a hard time, hiring drivers. I was an operation manager. I would teach the guys, how to load the oil. The oil comes up out of the ground. It's either got to go into the pipeline or it's got to be trucked out. So we were on the trucking side. So I would teach them, how to load all the oil on safely onto their trucks. So a lot of times we would hire guys that were getting separated from the military. I told my boss, we should be like the military company, and it kind of stuck with me. So when I got into like I said, started the service business, I was thinking of different names, and I thought, hey, why not like a veteran type company? So that's how I kind of came up with the idea. I found out I wasn't the first one. I guess other people came up with this, but
There's
that was
nothing
my
new
idea.
under
Was
the
like, hey, let's
sun,
see if we could,
Jim. There's nothing new.
right, exactly. So I thought, okay, let me try to hire guys that are vets or family members of vets, and that's kind of how we took off. So that's really our mission, is to try to hire veterans or family members or vets. Although it's not all our work, guys that work with us or are veterans. Sometimes we have to hire, and you know how it's really difficult to hire anyone that runs a business.
You still have to get the job done, so.
Right. So we would, I'd say about half our guys right now are veterans. And then the other half, maybe they have a family member or they're just, maybe they were, just came over from South America, whatever. But, yeah, but that's our mission, is we do try to service veterans. And actually we just won small business of the year from the American Legion for the whole country. Um,
That is such a huge
yeah,
achievement. The American Legion is such a core part of the military veteran experience, right? Like, and the fact that it's countrywide, you guys were named best small business employer, right?
yeah, the small business of the year, helping veterans. Yeah. So, we went through all the qualifying stuff and, we were awarded this
I
past
love
year.
that.
Yeah. So, really proud of
Congratulations.
that. Yeah, we do help. We have guys come and go. I mean, of course, we do power washing and junk removal. I mean, I do have some guys that have been with me about 4 years now. Most guys come in, they're transitioning. So whatever, we could do to help them, maybe they'll just need a job for the season, or maybe they're going to school and, they need a job to get through school. We try to help them out as best we can. I mean, you couldn't make a career out of it. I mean, our guys do make a pretty good living. Most guys are trying to get into other professions, and we're kind of a stepping stone, to help them get.
Excellent. And your experience with that operations, and my dad was a loadmaster in the Navy. So I feel
Awesome.
like that kind of fills that need. There's probably a lot of roles that they took on while they were in the service that transition well into the things that you're having them do now as an exterior washing company. Cleanliness and order is very important in the military, right?
Oh yeah, like paying attention to detail, showing up for work. I mean, just to hire people that show up for work every day is a challenge.
Sure, reliability.
Yeah, so got guys that'll show up for work that have a can-do attitude instead of getting to a job trying to say, well, I don't want to do, so how am I going to get out of it? Saying, okay, how are we going to accomplish this? Especially in junk removal, you do run into a lot of challenges, like, getting stuff out of homes, things like that. So just being able to organize the work site and getting stuff done, it comes in handy when people, been through a military training and all, and,
So that's a
driving
good
older
question.
vehicles.
When it comes to junk removal, I think a lot of people might think just cleaning out the garage or maybe picking stuff up on the curb that don't qualify for bulk trash for their municipality, right? So, talk about some of the different kinds of situations that you help your customers with when it comes to junk removal.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people are moving. Of course, that's a big one. Or their parents pass, and they have an estate, so we'll come in and clear out, a whole house. Basically, we take anything. We take furniture, you name it, furniture, toys, plates. We basically take anything they have away, everything except hazmat chemicals.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll go anywhere from, we have people that call us to just have one piece of furniture that need to be picked up, all the way to hoarder houses with, 10 trucks. So
Right.
whatever their needs are, we also do like demolition, like, they need a shed knocked down, a deck knocked down, uh, fence it. So we'll do
Even
that also.
complicated things I saw as I was going through your stuff, hot tubs. You can
Yeah,
get
hot
rid of
tubs,
somebody's.
exactly. Yeah, we'll take away their hot tubs too. Yeah. And so like demolition, any clean out needs, garage, attics, basements, you name it, we'll take it. And it's a pretty easy process for most people. They'll call in. Usually we'll ask them a couple questions over the phone to try to give them like a ballpark so they have an idea of what it'll be. Of course, if it's like a whole house, we'll just go out there and set a time to go do an estimate so we get eyes on it. But most people, like, we'll call in, we'll give them like a ballpark over the phone. Then we'll set up a time to send a truck out there ready to work. They'll take a look at whatever they have, give them a no obligation quote. If we're good with it, we load it up and take it away. So it's
That's
that's
excellent because I think cost would probably be a frontline question for people when they're
of
how much
course.
does it cost to have junk removal taken away? You guys do maybe a piece of furniture or a whole house, but you also help out with appliance removal too, right?
Right,
That's an
exactly.
issue for some people.
Right. So they'll get, maybe they'll get a new refrigerator and maybe the store they bought it doesn't take the old one, so we'll come and take that too. We'll disconnect it for them if they need to. Uh,
That's great. I'm sure that's a big question mark in people's minds sometimes, like, "Okay, now what? I don't need 2 refrigerators, or one's broken and I don't know what to do with it." Tell me about your customers themselves. Are you strictly helping residential customers, or do you help out businesses too?
yeah, we do commercial and residential on the junk removal side, of course, property managers, realtors. We try to work closely with realtors because they obviously they have a lot of customers that are moving storage units, these type of things. Um, but I'd say, right now the large bulk of our customer base is residential.
Okay.
Of course, on the power washing side, we do commercial too, like Walters Homes. We do a lot of their properties, cleaning their apartment buildings, stuff like that. Most of our customers, I'd say, are like on Long Beach Island, a Lavalette. Of course, we'll do, anywhere. We are specialized. Like, we're not like, guy that's doing it on the side for extra cash. So, um,
Yes.
we all are insured, workman's comp and all that stuff. So, like I said, we do soft wash. So a soft wash compared to a power wash, when you're cleaning a house, you don't want to put pressure up against it. Most people don't know that. Like, you'll drive by, you'll see people like putting pressure, against their own house. We really don't want to do that. The proper way is to spray like a solution. Just get rid of all the mold and mildew and everything. You just spray a solution, it kills it all. Then you just rinse it off, safely rinse it off, and that's it. Especially on wood, composite decks, fences, vinyl fences, any type of siding. That's the way you do it. We use pressure when we're cleaning like pavers or concrete. Then we'll do what's called power washing, right?
Yeah.
So these are just ways to clean. Like when I say, a lot of people call and say, well, what's soft washing? I want the soft wash. Well, it's just a method of cleaning. Even if someone said, well, I just want you to power wash my house, I wouldn't.
Right, because then you'd be
It's not the
liable for
proper way
some
to do it.
damage and stuff. They'd be so
Right,
upset.
exactly.
So that soft washing is real important and it comes to cleaning roofs too, right?
Right. So when we clean a roof, we definitely always soft wash. So we spray a solution. It is a very strong solution that you put onto a roof. Roofs come with a 5-year warranty too on the cleaning. So depending on what they have, a lot of people, they'll just have like those black streaks that you see. Those black streaks, it's a plant, it's basically like a type of mold. I don't, but of course, every plant leaves waste and that creates other plants to grow. Then you start getting like the round lichens, like the white plants
Yeah.
that grow, or moss, if there's a lot of moisture and shade. So they'll start growing moss. So we'll come in and, there's a lot of plant growth. I always tell the customers that, it's a process. So it's not like when we clean a house, bam, it gets clean and that's it. If it's just black striping, yeah, it'll come clean right away. But if it's a lot of plant growth, the plants will die. They'll turn white or orange. And then we let Mother Nature take over because, plants have roots. The roots are in the shingles. That's how it's getting its food. So
Got it.
we don't want to be taking that off right away because it'll take piece of the shingle off. So we just let Mother Nature take over. They'll die. And then usually over the next 60 to 90 days, they'll just kind of fall off the roof, decay and fall off the roof. So we come back after 60, 90 days and re-inspect the roof. If we still see stuff up there, usually, maybe they have a lot of tree cover and the rain's not hitting it. So then we'll go up and, get it off for them. Otherwise, we'll just come inspect it. And if they're good, then, every year they'll get a message from us. So if they see any other growth, we'll just come back out, clean it for
You guys
free
are
over the next five
incredible
years.
with your follow-ups. You're very thorough to make sure that those customers had a good experience, right?
We do. We do a lot of follow.
No, that's good. I
Yeah.
feel like especially with something where it could go either way. They might end up having an issue afterwards, and if you need to follow up to complete the service, that's important. You're not dropping the ball at any part of the process. So, along with roof cleaning though, sometimes gutters are an issue. So, you help out with that?
Yeah, we do gutter cleaning. We don't do it as a standalone service. We'll do it as part of a house wash or the roof. Then we'll clean their gutters, flush out the leaders and all. Yeah, but, same with exterior windows, like, we do exterior windows as part of a house wash, we don't just do it as a standalone, you know? We're technically not like a window cleaning company. I used to do that, we used to have, like, a pure water system and all that. I don't do that anymore, but, we have, like, a solution that we'll get onto. I always tell people it's like a rough clean, as part of a house wash, we'll get all the dirt and grime off the window, but it's not like, "Oh, Jim, there's a little spot in the corner." We don't get that detailed with it,
Right,
but
right.
we
Oh,
do that.
especially if it's like 2 stories up, right?
Right, we'll still get it, we'll still get the solution on there and all, but we're not there, with the squeegees and all that, you know? Yeah, so
So do you ever have anyone who's concerned about I'm a big gardener, right? So do you ever have anyone who's concerned about their landscaping and
yes,
the
that
effect
is a,
that the
that is a concern. It's a definite concern because we're killing the, organic growth on the house, right? So that could kill organic growth on the ground. So, that comes with know-how, like, you make sure that the, solutions you're using aren't too strong.
Okay.
Because when you're training guys, they're like, "Oh, wow, okay, you only put like 1% in there. Well, if I put 5%, oh, wow, it cleans it that much faster." Well, yeah, but you're also could do a lot of damage to people's landscaping. Um, we water before, during, and after. And I always tell people, 99 times out of 100, you don't have an issue, but sometimes plants do react to the solutions. We do, if it does happen, we replace the plant, stuff like that. But, usually in the spring, fall, it's not an issue. But when it's, 95 degrees outside, plants are under a lot of stress already. So you
Yes.
do have to be careful with the landscaping. And that's something we
Yes,
look
I
at when we're
saw
out there.
on one of your videos, Julie was pre-watering the plants, and I
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
"Wow, that's so mindful of what damage that might do to the landscaping," because she knew that that was something that
Yeah. So when
might
plants,
mitigate it.
when it's just like a human. When you're thirsty, you drink and then you don't drink, right? If you're
Right.
thirsty, you put a whole case of water in front of somebody, they'll drink one or two bottles and say, okay, I'm good. Plants are kind of the same way. So you water before because this way they drank. So this way, if the solution does come, it won't drink it because it's already drank. And, we, with overspray, we usually have someone with water, like they'll be cleaning and then somebody else is kind of with the water, going over the plant. So if there's a lot of overspray, it just keeps
That's
it off the
perfect.
plant. Yeah. Especially doing roofs because roofs is a lot stronger. The solution's like 10 times stronger than doing a house.
Really?
So yeah. Yeah. So you really got to be careful with the overspray. We
Well,
cover
yeah,
all
I
the,
mean, I guess you don't have as much growth of those microbial fungus and all kinds of things on the siding of a building. It's where there's less of a pitch and more settling, right?
right, it just gets into the shingle, and it takes, a stronger solution to get those clean, yeah, so,
But
also
don't
everything's
power
coming down
wash
the
your roof.
leaders. Huh?
Don't power wash your roofs. You'll
No,
take
do
your
not do
shingles
that,
off.
do not do that. People do that, and they're taking off the grit from the from the shingle, so you're defeating the purpose. And I'll tell you, to be honest with you, that's how I go out there, and, I mean, I'm not a roofer, and I don't inspect roofs, but, I can look at a roof, and I'll say this, some customers, I mean, you're probably better off getting a new roof or having a roofer look at this. Because a lot of times they get so much plant growth that what happens is, the plants eat away at the shingle, and sometimes they hold the shingles together. So if we come in and there's too much plant growth, they're not
The
getting a
glue is
leak.
gone.
Yeah, the glue is gone. Exactly. So the plant dies, and all of a sudden the water's finding its way in, right? Yeah. So, we try to help. Same thing with junk. I mean, if I'm talking to customers and there's a budget issue, then I'll give them, of course, it's always, especially with junk, if they get like a dumpster, it's actually cheaper, right? It's less expensive because you're doing it yourself, right? You're loading.
Yes.
We're a full service business. So we come in, we load everything for you. We do everything for you. But with a dumpster, you got a dumpster dropped and then you just load it yourself. So I told people, hey, if budget's an issue, then these are different things you could do to, get the cost down, and then maybe the stuff you can't take, we'll come get it.
Excellent.
Also, like, there's Habitat for Humanity. There's a few organizations out there that'll come and take furniture for free if it's good furniture and they need it. They're very picky though, and you got to like stage it for them. They're not going to go up to the upstairs bedroom and grab it and carry it down. You got to bring
Okay,
it down,
yes.
you know. But we help people with that and point them in the right directions. Also, we do try to take take things to donation centers that are good. So as we're loading, we generally know like what stuff the donation centers are going to take. And we don't resell it ourselves, but we'll take it to Goodwill or whatever the closest, depending where we are, and drop it off there. This way it keeps stuff out of the landfill. So we do try to recycle and repurpose items too.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
something that you also help out with is construction debris removal. So
Yes.
do you ever have a situation where you're partnering with other contractors or maybe
Yeah. So
builders
they
who
say like
can
the
use your
dumpster, like
services?
sometimes they're in, like say they're on Long Beach Island and they can't get a dumpster in there because there's not enough space, or the job's too small to have a dumpster. So then that's where we'll come in. We'll come in and we'll help them with that. And also, some contractors, they want their trade guys doing the trade. They want their plumbers doing the plumbing. They want the guys, framers doing the framing, drywall. They don't want their guys spending 3 hours cleaning up a site.
Sure, it helps to move the project forward.
Right. So it makes sense for us to come in and we clean it up for them and we keep it clean for them. And then the homeowner's a lot happier because when they come look at it, everything's clean. It's not stuff laying all over the place, right? So it makes the contractor look better, and it keeps, and really like disposal is such a small line item in their budget, especially when you're building a house that, to have us do it. Yeah, it really saves them money because they're paying some guy, whatever, a good electrician, good, they're probably like $40 an hour. We're, half of that. So it just makes sense to have us come in and clean up a lot of it.
Great. So you're based down in Barnegat, Manahawkin area. What does your service area look like? How far are you able to go to help both homeowners and business owners and contractors depending on the job that you're doing?
Yeah, we cover Ocean and Monmouth County right now. Yeah, we're looking to expand a little bit, but maybe down into Atlantic a little bit. But right now we do Ocean and Monmouth. So
So are you originally from the Jersey Shore? Like where
no, I'm a
are
North
you?
Jersey guy. I grew up in
Okay.
Clifton. Yeah, Clifton. Went to graduated Clifton High School. Like I said, I went to the military after high school, and I got out and did some different things. I was a lineman for Bell Atlantic. And once when they became Verizon, I got laid off. Yeah, so yeah, I bounced around here and there.
So how long have you been in the Ocean and Monmouth County area?
Oh, we've been down. We came down originally like in '99.
Okay.
I have 4 children. I've been married going on 37 years. A lot of well, then I moved out. I came down in '99, 2003. I lived out in Idaho for 8 years. That's when I got laid off from, it became Verizon. I got laid off. So we decided to move out west. We lived there for 8 years and then came back to Jersey. Probably like, what are you? You got rocks in your head?
No, heck no. Listen, I'm a Jersey girl and I'm local born and bred here in Ocean County, so I'll always come home.
Yeah, people, have a lot of negative things to say about Jersey, but I always love Jersey. It's my home, and there's good and bad no matter where you live. But we live in a great location. The Jersey Shore is beautiful. We have, great
Yes, it
beaches.
is.
We have great food. We're between two great cities. We have country, the mountains. Everything in between in New Jersey, and the
So
people are
what are your
pretty.
some of your favorite spots, things that you love to do with your family here in the Ocean Monmouth County area when you're not
Well,
removing junk or
yeah.
washing siding?
Well, we love, when I was a kid, we came down to LBI for vacation. First we used to go
Okay.
to Ocean Beach. This is like the early '70s. And then my uncle found out about Long Beach Island. We started going down there, probably, early '80s, late '70s, early '80s. And so always had a love for the shore. One night a year we go to the boardwalk at Seaside. That was always special. My
Absolutely.
kids say now, like, "Gee, I mean, how do you go down the shore? Like, what'd you guys do?" I said, "Oh, we played cards. We sat on the beach all day." I mean, like, for us, that was we were in the water. My parents couldn't get us out of the water, but and that's what we still like to do. My son-in-law has a boat. He's from the area. He's from Waretown, and he has a boat, so he goes out in the bay. We try to go with him, and yeah, we just like to go to the beaches, try out different we're kind of foodies. We like to go out and try out the different, restaurants and all. One of my girls, my youngest girl, she answers the phone for us now, Regina. So if you call in, you'll talk to her. But she
Okay.
works at Old Causeway also in Manahawkin. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a good place.
Not yet.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic. I love the shout out. I can't wait to try
yeah.
it.
Old Causeway, the Mud City's right next door to it. The same owners, they own a bunch of restaurants. Yeah, so they do a good job. Yeah, so that's what we like to do. Uh,
Super.
Also wanted to bring up that we work closely with I don't know if I told you this. We work closely with Mod Deuce Deuce, an organization in Toms River that helps veterans. So we got a lot of our workers from them. Like they'll refer guys or Vet Works in Forked River.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell
So
me
we work.
about Mod Deuce Deuce. I was going to ask you about like organizations and nonprofits that you support
Okay.
that align with what you're
Jump the
doing.
gun
No,
there.
that's great. Yeah, tell me a little bit about that organization and what their mission is and what they're known for and how you're able to help.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, hooked up with these guys. I mean, we're in the Marines too, so it came naturally. But Modus, of course, they help no matter what service you were in. But um, so yeah, it's like suicide awareness. They got the 22 because I think it's like 22 veterans a day like commit suicide. I don't know if that's still true, but that was for a while. A lot of these guys they serve over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they come back, and really we had no idea. Most of the public had no idea that they were still fighting over there. They were still seeing combat and all. So they would come back, and they'd have the PTSD, and then just uh, the general public apathy for the whole thing, and it affects these guys a lot. So they help out any way they can. They focus on PTSD, but they'll help any veteran in any circumstance. If you're a veteran and you have a need, and you don't have to be from the Iraq, Afghanistan area, even if you're like a Vietnam vet and you need help, they're going to help you. So, and I like dealing with the local charity because I know that they're actually helping the guys. Like the money that they get, is going towards the people that are in need. It's not that I'm some CEO making $300,000 a year or some of these other uh, so-called charities. So when I found them, I was really happy, and we push them a lot, and we do donate every month. We donate towards Mod Deuce Deuce and some other
Jim,
ones.
that's
But like I said,
fantastic.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's a
We're
great.
going to link to that website so that if anybody is interested in supporting or finding out more about that organization and their local efforts in the Ocean Monmouth County area, they can check them out and hopefully donate or get involved however they can.
Exactly, yeah, and Dennis Adesio, he's the, guy that runs it, he's right in Toms River, so, yeah, it's a great organization,
Great
and
job, Dennis.
we're happy to be help them out.
Sounds good. So, what's happening next? What this episode is going to air on Tuesday, January 27th. So, what should the audience be paying attention to? What's coming up for CamoVets? What do you have going on?
Yeah, right now, if you call in, we're doing, like, a $50 off our loads right now, so if you call in and, you have a need, just give us a call or go to our website, camovets.com, and, you can fill out a form. We'll give you the ballpark figure with the discount, so you'll get an idea of what you'd be looking at. In the spring, we'll be kicking off, like I said, our 11th season doing soft washing, power washing. So if you have a need for that too, let us know. We do get booked up like April, May, and June. The earlier you could give us a call, the better. Because power washing, there's a small window to get the stuff done. It's not like junk removal we do all year long, but power washing is a small window, so the slots do fill up and
So it makes
pretty
sense to
fast.
call now to schedule for
Yeah,
April.
we will start doing estimates in March, like usually March. We'll usually start cleaning up, weather permitting, usually around the middle of March. But if it's really cold, we have to push it back. Usually around the middle of March, we'll start cleaning again. And if you're a vet or you're looking for work too, you could always give us a call, and we'll, especially around end February, beginning of March, we'll be hiring, to get ready for the power washing season, and I could go over everything with you there and see if it's something you want to take advantage of.
That's terrific. Thank you so much. This was a great episode. I'm so excited and I can't wait to make
Well,
this
thank you so
live.
much. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you for coming on the show. Is everybody ready for our giveaway? You could win a gift card to Spire Coffee House in Toms River. What question should we ask them to win the gift card?
Oh, what organization do we work closely with from Tom's River?
That is a great question. So if you know the answer, if you don't, rewatch the episode to hear the answer. And if you do, please email it to me along with your name and address so we can send that gift card to you. My email is lisa@shopjerseyshore.com. Put CamoVets in the subject line and we will announce the winner before the next episode. Thank you. That is all the time we have. We'll see you next week, and remember to shop Jersey Shore.
Thank you so much.